Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm here to drop another jewel. If you don't know me, my name is Mr. Imani. I'm a certified paralegal. I also have my own paralegal firm that specializes in expunging criminal records in the state of California and the state of Georgia so far. And I'm going to launch a new program starting in 2026 on how to expunge your federal criminal record. As you can see here, application for pardon after completion of sentence. So let's break this down. This is a lengthy application. So I don't know if you guys heard, in all 50 states, they have ways to expunge your criminal record. When you commit a felony or a misdemeanor on a state level, you expunge your record through the Superior Court on a state level. Now, for those, this audience for this 21-page application is for those who experience being convicted of a federal crime. Now, you don't hear a lot of lawyers going to give you a lot of wisdom that I'm going to give you, but I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide on how to expunge your federal criminal record for those who've been convicted in the district court. Now, let's differentiate the two. So, again, when you got convicted of a felony or a misdemeanor on the state level for drugs or anything, you go to a state court. Now, for those who experience being convicted of a felony in the federal jurisdiction, which they deal with the district courts, you have to get your record expunged through a presidential pardon because those are federal courts. You violated federal statute. So it is not easy. Again, it's a 21-page application. I'm going to go over this application in the layman's terms. I'm going to be launching this program where I'm going to help people expunge their federal criminal record starting in January 2026. Now, in the meantime, prior to January 26th, starting next week, I am going to help 5 people for free expunge their federal criminal record. Now, let's go over how do you qualify to get a federal criminal record. According to the DOJ, which is the Department of Justice, you have to, one, be a United States citizen. Number two, you have to be convicted of a federal crime, meaning that you went to a federal court, a district court, either northern. Sometimes they have eastern districts, western districts, etc. You have to live within the United States, and you have to wait 5 years to the completion of your sentence. Now, let me break that down to the layman's terms. What they mean by 5 years of the completion of your term is 5 years after you're done with this case. So let's say you went to federal court, you got convicted of a crime, you did 10 years, and then you had 7 years probation or supervised release is what they call it. You have to wait for, of course, you got to wait to get out of jail, and you have to wait for the 7 years of the probation, and then 5 years after that, in order for you to be convicted, in order for you to even qualify to get your federal record expunged. And the reason why they want to wait 5 years is because they want to make sure that you've been a good citizen for those 5 years, not in the state level. Depending on the state, let me just speak on the state of California. As soon as you're done with your completion of your sentence and done with probation or parole, you can turn around and wait 2 years or sometimes 9 months up to 2 years to get your state record expunged. When you're dealing with the feds, you're dealing with a big boys. You're dealing with, it's a whole nother anarchy. So let's go ahead and break this down. Let's go here. So I'm gonna share a screen with you guys, and we're gonna go web guide on how to expunge your federal criminal record. And I'm gonna go line by line because I really want you guys to really understand. So this is gonna be a very long video, but I really want to break this down for you. So when you're dealing with being convicted of a federal crime, you don't send this to the courts. The court's gonna look at you like you're crazy because it doesn't go to the courts. It goes to the Department of Justice. You can either email it to the Department of Justice, or you can go ahead and mail this application to the Department of Justice. So let's go ahead and break this down to the layman's terms. All right. So on the first page of this, you're going to put your first name, middle initial, last name, with your current address, current email address, cell phone number, social security number, home phone number, sex, date of birth, place of birth, height, weight, hair color, eye color. You want to put that down there because they want to make sure that you are the one that was convicted of a crime. They want to make sure that your identity matches the identity that was convicted of a crime. Now, the next thing they're going to ask for, as you can see here, it says, does an attorney represent you in your petition for clemency? Meaning that if you go through a law firm or if you go through a paralegal firm, for those who want to be my future clients, I'm not an attorney as of yet, but I am a certified paralegal. So if you're going through my paralegal firm, you're going to click yes. The next thing it says the undesigned petition for a pardon and support thereof states as follows. And then it says, are you a United States citizen? So in order for you to qualify to get your federal record expunged, you have to be a United States citizen. The next thing it says, have you ever applied for a presidential pardon before? Meaning, what that means is there's no limits on how many times you can apply for a presidential pardon. The reason why they ask that is because if you get denied for trying to get your federal record expunged, you have to wait 2 years again to resubmit this information. Now let's go to the next one. It says offense of which pardon is sought. So what you want to do is when you do this, it's best to get your PSI, which if you've been convicted of a crime, your pre-sentencing report. On your pre-sentencing report, it has everything you've been convicted of in your life, also along with your current crime. It also has the dates and times of your offense, the dates and times you pled guilty for your state offenses if you have those, and your federal offense. You want to have your letter of judgment, meaning like your restitution, your federal fines, etc. You want to show that also on the judgment it shows what you've been sentenced of, and the reason why you want to have your judgment because it's going to have everything that you're going to need for this form: the court, the district of, because you got to put either Western District, the state, when you were sentenced, how much time you got sentenced to, was you on supervised release, if there's any fines, how long, how much was your fines and restitution. It want to know the petitioner began the service of the sentence, meaning that when did you serve your sentence, when was your release to and from, who was your probation, when did you start and when did you end. You want to put that information on there as possible. Also, you're going to have your judgment. Another thing that's best to have is your statement of reasons. This document gives the court reasons for the sentence. Your indictment or information, meaning you want to have a copy of your indictment because it has your case number and your name, of course, along with your aliases and what you've been charged with, because they want to know what you've been charged with United States statutes, because you're dealing with the feds. So you're dealing with USC. You're not dealing with penal codes. You're not dealing with vehicle codes. You're not dealing with business codes. You're not dealing with welfare codes. They want to know the actual statute that you've been convicted of on a federal level. You want to have your case docket report. Basically what a case docket report is, your report of your case. It has your case number. It has everything that's under that document as well. Now, you want to put right here is indicate the dates on which the fine and restitution was paid. So what that means is they want to know if you was paying a fine or restitution. They want to know when was it paid off. If there's a remaining balance, like for example, if you have a restitution of $250,000 and you was ordered to pay $50 a month while you was on probation and you couldn't pay everything off, they want to know the remaining balance, because a lot of people don't have the whole $250,000. They only can afford the $50 a month or $100 a month or whatever monthly balance that was given to you during your judgment and restitution, and you was about aiding and abetting. I mean, not aiding and abetting, but you was following the rules and recommendations of probation. You only can afford $50 a month. Yes, your restitution was only $50 a month, but you didn't have the whole $250,000. But you was paying $50 a month because that was one of your terms and conditions of your probation. So if you have a remaining balance, let's say of that $250,000 fine, they want to know the remaining balance of that as well. Now, also, if you've been, the next thing is here is if you appealed your conviction or sentence, provide the dates of the decisions. Meaning that let's say if you went to trial and you lost, and let's say that you tried to appeal the decision of the court, maybe there's a form of prosecutorial misconduct, or maybe your attorney didn't provide you the best representation. They want to know what happened during that decision. So you fill out that information right there. Now, right here in number 6, it says provide a complete and detailed account of the offense for which you seek a pardon. Basically, what that means is they want to know everything about your crime that you've been convicted of. And the reason why they want that is because they want to see some type of remorse that has to do with your crime. They not ask you to go into exact detail on who was your co-defendants and all that stuff. They just want to know, okay, if you committed fraud, they want to know, okay, I committed fraud. The United States statute code was 1028, which is aggravated identity theft, or etc. So you'll put that right there as well. Also, you want to put in this big box what was you sentenced to? On a federal level, they use a sentencing guideline. So they want to know if you've been sentenced to 36 months or 48 months. Did you get the 3-point reduction? Because if you plead guilty, a plea deal in the feds, what they have those in the feds, you can you get a 3-point deduction. So they want to know what was your sentence after the plea deal. If you read the thing here, it says if the conviction resulted from a plea agreement, you should describe the full extent of your involvement in the criminal conduct in addition to the charges to which you pled guilty to. So what that means is they want to know what was your role in committing this crime. And if you need more paper, then they give you a extra sheet of paper. But in this big box, they want to know pretty much as much information they can about that particular crime. Now, the next box is a prior and subsequent criminal record. So basically, in this box, they want to know, did you have any other convictions on your record? For example, if you've been convicted in the state of California, they want to know, okay, well, what did you plead guilty to? Even though it was expunged, you still want to put it in this box. Even like, for example, I work with a lot of clients that needs their record expunged, and I've worked with people who has gotten their record expunged, but some of them ain't made it to the big boys yet, meaning the federal level. In this form, they want to know any arrest, even as a juvenile or an adult. They want to know everything here. They want to be all in your business. Even though you got your record expunged, they still want to know anything that has to do with previous criminal conduct. So you'll put that right in this box here. So for example, let's say you came to my firm and you got your record expunged, and we expunged you from, let's say, DUI or a felon in possession of a firearm. You want to put that information right there, even though it's been expunged off your criminal record. So you want to put all that information there. Do not hide it. What I recommend you do is get a printout of your rap sheet or whatever state that you in, and just go ahead and attach that to this document here. So you don't have to just think about it. You ain't got to worry about putting the wrong information. Just print out a copy of your rap sheet and then attach it to subsection 7 of this form, so they can just have a professional look out of it, just in case, you've been convicted of multiple different crimes. Instead of you just writing everything out, just write as much as you can here and then get a printout of it and then attach it, because again, you're going to mail it to them, and you also can email it to them as well. So it's just best to just do it that way, so you it can just look more professional. That's why having your PSI, which is a pre-sentence report, is so important, because it has everything that you've been arrested for on the state level, on the federal level, and as an adult and a juvenile. So you put all that in that box right there. Now, right here is your biographical information. So have you ever been married, divorced, widowed? You'll put your spouse information there, their date of birth, their address. I'm telling you, they want to be all in your business. They want to know about your children. You put that there. Place of birth, that you put that there as well. If you have any minor children but do not have custody of one or more of them, indicate whether and to whom you pay child support to. So basically, if you're paying child support, they want to know about your payments that you pay. If you're current on your child support, you want to put that there as well. If you are failing to pay child support, they want to know the reason why that you're failing on your child support. And you want to put each child, their address and telephone number to the parent that they're staying at as well. If you, if you're co-parenting, etc., they want to know that information in this box right here as well. So this has to do with your children. Now, right here is list the complete addresses of all the schools you have attended since your conviction. So what that means is, if you went to, let's say you got out of federal prison and you went to a trade school, or you went to HVAC, or you went to DeVry College, or you went to community college, you want to put this information there. And the reason why they want this information is because, again, they want 5 years of good history that you're been on the streets doing the right thing. So they want to know everything about your schooling since post conviction, because if they're going to give you a pardon, they want to know, okay, why am I giving this person a pardon? What has he done ever since he got out of prison? Like, for example, I done dealt with people that was in school after being convicted of a federal offense, and they went to school to get HVAC or electrician, or they went to a community college, they got the AA in administration of justice, or some of them that got AA degree in business administration. Some moved on to get their BA degree. So they want to know about your school, your field of study, the address of the school. Do you have any transcripts? That also looks good. So what I would do is, if you went to any schools after you got convicted of a federal crime and you completed your probation, just get a printout of all your certifications and attach it to this. Also get your transcripts and attach it to this as well. That looks very professional. If you got any degrees, attach it, make a copy of it, attach it there. They don't need the original copy. Just anything, any type of school that you went to after you got out of federal prison, go ahead and make a copy of it. Transcripts, letters of recommendation from colleges, anything that has to do with any type of counseling or any type of if you've been doing good in school, they want any type of instructor, counselor, or any school official who knows you well. So what you should start doing is get letters of recommendation from your counselors or any of your case managers that you worked with. If you in EOPS or a care program or anything, any type of math club, or if you in some type of black like Jamba, if you in some type of organization at school, just get printouts and letters of recommendation from those individuals to beef up your chances to get your federal record expunged. So any type of letters of recommendation from your school. If you went to 10 schools, get something from all 10 schools and just get it printed off. If you got any certifications from your job, anything like that, it goes in this section here. So what I would do is, instead of trying to fill out just one little box, just get printouts of everything and then attach it to your application as an attachment. And that right here will boost your application and makes things look good for you. Now, the next thing that they want is residences. So if you have any residences that you've been staying at post-conviction, what you want to do is you want to give them all your addresses. I'm telling you, they want all your business. They want to know where you moved to, street address, city, state, and zip code, apartment numbers, and everything. So if you've been jumping around to different places, what I would do is I'll put all your addresses. If you got leases in your name, go ahead and get a copy of those leases, at least the front page that shows that your name and your address. Go ahead and put that there as well. Because they want to know, provide the full addresses of every place you have lived since the conviction or release from incarceration, meaning on the federal level. So you want to start, you says begin with the present and work backwards. So you can put your current address here and then go down. They want to know all that information as well. So previous addresses goes there. Now, the next box that they want is your employment history. Your employment history since conviction. So if you have multiple jobs since conviction, go ahead and put those jobs there and start working backwards. If it's part-time, full-time, if you've been working for yourself, if you've been doing Uber, Lyft, or any independent contract work, you want to put that information there. They want to know the employer's name, telephone number, the date, street address, supervisor telephone number, the type of business, etc. So you put that information there. If you have paycheck stubs, I will also get those. If you've been employee of the month or employee of the year, I will get copies of those. If you have any type of certification on the job training that they gave you some type of certification for, I will get those as well. Any type of letters from your job that says you've been doing a good job, get a copy of that and attach that to your application as well. So any type of item from your job that shows that you've been working, doing good, employee of the month, employee of the year, get copies of that. Letters of recommendation, get copies of that as well. Now, the next box says, since your conviction have you been fired or left a job for any type of misconduct? So if you've been fired from a job, you want to put that there. Any type of misconduct, you want to put that there. Any unsatisfactory job performances, you want to put that there. Also, it says, have you ever failed to list your conviction or any other arrest or conviction or any employment or other application where such information was requested? Now, in the state of California, they got this do not ask, do not tell. So they don't ask you, have you been convicted of a crime anymore? So you can put no in there because the state of California don't even ask you for that stuff anymore. And then you explain the reason why. If you've been self-employed, state the number of individuals you employ on both a full-time basis. So if you have your own business, like for example, I have my own business as a paralegal, and I also do roadside assistance. If I was to need a federal record expunged, I would put how many people have I hired right there. I would, if I need to bring any type of receipts or anything like that, or proof that I hired somebody through, let's say if I need to present paycheck stubs or anything like that, you put that information there as well. Now, this is the next one right here. This one is substance abuse and mental health information. So basically, with the substance abuse and mental health information, if you been victimized, or if you've been if you did drugs, even if you did drugs while you was in jail, you want to put this information there as well. If you did any mental health training, you'll put that information as not mental health training, but any mental health programs that you've been to, you'll put that information there. If you went to any AA or NA, you'll put that information right there. If you've been to, if let's say you just got out of federal prison and your probation officer is asking you to go to a AA or NA or mental health type of program, because they do offer those on federal probation or supervised release, you'll put that information there as well. If you got any certification from any of these substance abuse or mental health treatment programs that they offer, or any type of the 10-step, I think the 10-step or 12-step program that they offer at these AA and NAs, you'll get copies of that as well. And also, what you want to do is, under this section, you want to get copies of any type of, if you got any type of help, or so any type of like certifications or letters of recommendation, you'll get that information right there on the substance abuse and mental health information. You put that information there. They're going to ask you, have you used drugs? Have you been involved in any type of illegal manufacturing? Have you sought or participated in counseling, treatment, or rehabilitation programs for drug use or alcohol? You put that information there. Again, you want to get some type of letters of recommendation. If you completed any treatment programs, you want to get certifications of that you completed. That's why it's always good to, when you're incarcerated, and they got programs for like NA or AA, get those certificates. And then, because it's going to work for you in the long haul. See, a lot of people, what I notice when people go to jail, they don't want to go to these programs because they think they're too good to go to these programs. But then you wonder why you can't get your record expunged. Get those certifications while you're incarcerated, because it's on the federal level. You're going to need that to get your federal record expunged so you can qualify for federal jobs. You can get your civil liberties restored, your gun rights restored, etc. Let me see something right quick. Okay, that looks a lot better. All right. That looks a lot better. Now it says, have you ever consulted with a mental health professional, psychiatrist, or psychologist, or counselor? If you have, you want to click yes. You want to get the name and address of that individual, the telephone number. Same right here. If you participate in any counseling or treatment programs, you want to get their name and addresses as well. If you've been involved in illegal manufacturing, sale, distribution of drugs, if those who been convicted of drug offenses on the federal level, you want to put that as well. If you've been manufacturing or distributing those type of drugs, you put that there. So let's go down to the next box, civil and financial information. So basically right here is they want to know about if you owe any debt. For those who have bad credit, if you got repossessions, if you got credit card debt, you want to put that information right there. If you have any type of financial obligation that's imposed on you, you want to put that information right there as well. If you can, get copies of your credit report and also attach that to this application. If you got any debt, any type of debt, they want a copy of that debt. Now, if you can't fit all your debt in this line here, what you want to do is you want to get printouts of your credit report. Even if you've been victimized by identity theft, get printouts of your credit report and put that information right there. I mean, not put it there, but print it out. Because again, when you submit this application to the Department of Justice, you're not just going to be filling out this application here. You're going to be attaching a whole bunch of different certificates, financial information, all that type of stuff. Because your application is going to be like 60, 70, almost 80 pages long, because you're going to be printing out so much stuff because they want to know everything about you. So what I would do is, if you got any debt that's imposed on you, any car tickets or any type of registration holds or any type of debt that's imposed on you, go ahead and print it out and attach it to this application and then send it to the Department of Justice, because this is the information that they want. Now, the next thing that they want is, do you have any liens on the federal or state level? Meaning that any type of judgments that you have, any type of bankruptcies that you have, where you're involved in any civil lawsuits, you want to put that on there also as well. Get printouts of all this information and then attach it to your application. If it doesn't fit here, just go ahead and just print it out and then attach it to this application, then send it in. Have you been discharged any debts in bankruptcy? So if you've been not victimized by bankruptcy, but if you've been, if you filed for any type of chapter of bankruptcy, you'll put that information there as well. So chapter 7 or chapter 13 or any chapter of bankruptcy, you want to get the documentation from the courts, the original documentation from the courts, and then go ahead and attach it here. If it doesn't fit here, just print it out anyways, and then attach it when you send this information to the Department of Justice. The next thing that they want is, do you have any judicial and administrative proceedings pending in the federal or state level? Meaning that if you have any pending charges on civil or state or federal. So if you have any pending charges, any warrants for your arrest, any type of pending civil lawsuits, anything like a pending judgment, you want to put that information there as well. If you can't fit it there, my favorite thing is go ahead and print it out and then attach it to this application and then sit it in under subsection 8. The next thing that they want is your military record. Have you been in any military? So if you been to the U.S. Army or the Navy, anything like that, they want to know the dates of service that you've been, the branches, the serial number, the type of discharge, decorations of any. Do you have any honorable discharges? Did you serve in the armed force? Did you receive any non-judicial punishments, or were you the defendant of any court material? So basically, if you went to any courts, I want to say military courts, they want to know that information right there. Get copies of it. You want to get the order of which you've been charged of or been discharged of. Just go ahead and get the copies of all this information when it has to do with your military. So if you got any type of military background, you have any type of proof that you're in the military, copy of your military ID is helpful as well. If you have any information pertaining to any disciplinary actions, get a copy of that. Even if you have any positive recommendations from your sergeant or your lieutenant, anything like that, get copies of that as well. Print it out and send it along with this presidential pardon to help get your federal record expunged as well. Now, the next thing that they want is civil rights and occupational licensing. So basically what this is have you ever applied for the restitution of your state civil rights? Meaning that if you got any expungements, if you have any pardons from the state, if you got anything restored back unto you on a civil level, you'll go ahead and get copies of this. Well, of course, you're going to click yes. If you haven't, click no. Then what you want to do is you want to get copies of all those expungements. You want to get copies of all those restoration of civil rights. You want to get a copy of all those certificate of discharges. Go ahead and get copies of it if it doesn't fit here. But it's always good to just write a little brief summary here and then get copies and then attach it to this application. Where any of your firearms disabled, meaning that let's say you got convicted of a felony and you can't have, you got your state firearms took from you. You go ahead and put that there. If you got federal firearms disabilities, you'll go ahead and put that information there. Have you ever been denied any type of business or professional license? Meaning, let's say in the state of California, you go through the Department of Consumer Affairs, and majority of the licenses that they have there, you have to pass the background check in order for you to get these professional licenses. So let's say if you got a felony and you try to apply somewhere in the medical field and you got denied because of your felony, so you'll go and put that there because you've been denied. It didn't show proof of the denial. So everything is about proof and paperwork when it comes to the Department of Justice and when it comes to getting a pardon. You want to have proof that you've been denied. So if they send you some type of denial letter, what you want to do is you want to show proof that you've been denied. So let's say the DCA denied you because of your felony. Go ahead and then show proof that you've been denied, print it out, and attach it to this application. Now, have you ever been granted any type of business professional license? So let's say you've been convicted of a felony 15 years ago and it didn't pop up on your current background because they only go back 7 years. So what you want to do is under this, you want to if you got granted any type of license through the Department of Consumer Affairs or any state, you want to click yes and then list off all your licenses. So like, for example, let's say, again, if you've been convicted of a state offense and let's say it happened 10 years ago, but they didn't go back 10 years ago, they only went 7, you'll click yes. And then you want to show proof of the license that you got. Again, the reason why you want to have some type of business or professional license is because it showed that for the 5 years that you've been doing really good for yourself. Because again, you got to wait 5 years after the commission of your crime, of the probation, to show that you've been doing really good for yourself. So you want to show that you got any type of licenses, either on a state level, any type of license. If you went to school to become a certified paralegal, or if you're going to school, any type of license, because they want to see what type of behavior that you've been doing for the past 5 years. Now, the next thing is right here. It's called charitable and community activities. So these are for those people that, let's say, they was in church, or you've been doing community service work, like you've been going somewhere like, for example, the Goodwill, or any type of charitable work. what you want to do is you want to get as many people as you can on your side. So if you've been doing any type of free work, go ahead and get letters from that. If you've been doing any type of work at the Goodwill, get letters of that. If you've been just volunteering to give out food or working at the homeless shelter, anything like that, go ahead and get proof of that while you're doing this, because it shows good. It shows that you've been doing good for the past 5 years. Now let me go ahead and read this to you. Describe any charitable or civil activities in which you have been engaged or other contributions you have made to the community since your conviction. In this regard, you may include the names of the organizations in which you have participated, the time periods of your participation, your role in these activities, and the name, address, and telephone number of a person associated with each organization who is familiar with your involvement. If you need more space, use the optional continuation page. So you're going to write everything here. If you've been doing a lot, just go ahead and just write as much as you can and then get proof that you actually did these charitable things. If you got awarded, like, best helper of the year, or best helper of the month, or people been saying you've been doing a good job, go ahead and get some type of letter of recommendation that you've been doing a good job, and go ahead and attach it to your application here. Now, this is the most important thing. Right here it says the reason for seeking pardon. So the reason why this is so important right here is because they want to know the reason why you want a pardon. Make sure it's, you got to be assignment forgiveness, not vindication. If you need more space, use the optional continuation page. So you want to put on here your goals, your inspirations, you showing some type of remorse. You also want to put on here, you just don't want to put because I want to clear my record or I want to get a gun. And you want to put on here, you want to show that, hey, for the past 5 years, I didn't did this, I didn't did that, I didn't join this nonprofit organization. I would love to, one day run for public office. I'm going to school to be a lawyer, but that, I know I can't have a felony to be a lawyer. So I would love to get my president. I would love to get this pardon because I want to be able to pass the background check with flying colors, so I can be an inspirational criminal defense attorney. You want to put a real lengthy reason why you want to obtain this pardon. Now here's the continual page for petition for pardon. So basically, if you run out of space, you'll put your residences here. Any type of employment history, you'll put that information here. You run out of space. Any type of answer to other questions, you'll put that here. This is like a continuational page. Now, a character affidavit. So basically what a character affidavit is, you want to get multiple people that can basically vouch for you. They want 1, 2, 3. They want 3 people that can pretty much vouch for you to say, hey, this person's really been doing good for himself. And they have to get this notarized as well. As you can see, it says seal. So each person got to fill out this form and then get it sealed and then explain the reason why, how long they know you, how many years they know you, and they got to put, the reason why they put that information there. He's been a law-abiding citizen. He's been really good. He's helped me out. He's been doing good in the community. You want to put the information there. They got to get it sealed and the show the ID and got to get it notarized and all that stuff. So you got to do 3 of those. Boom. Now, authorization for release of information. So basically what this means is, let's say you were taking drug and like mental health programs while you're incarcerated. So basically what this means is they're going to go out and get this information. They're going to have they says authorize any investigator, special agent, or any duly accredited representative of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Department of Defense, and any other authorized federal agency to obtain any information relating to my activities from schools, residential management agents, employers, criminal justice agencies, retail business establishments, courts, etc. So they're going to pretty much, all that information that you fill out for this, all this here, they're going to pretty much do a thorough investigation. They're going to pull out medical records. That's why I say get a copy of everything. If you do any type of medications, get a copy of that. If you got any type of school records, any type of drug and alcohol type of help or mental health type of help, you're taking some type of pills, get a copy of that. Now another thing, what I recommend you do, if you're taking any type of medications on the streets from like any of these clinics, get a copy of those medications. If you've been taking drugs or like any type of mental health drugs incarcerated, call the jail and get a copy of your medical record and then attach it to this application. So you want to get that information. So you want to fill out this information. And you're going to sign and date it because they're going to go ahead and go after and go find this information and see where you pretty much honest about, your job history, addresses, etc. Now the last part is certification of personal oath. So basically what that means is you're going to put the date and month that that you honestly answered all the questions and statements here correctly, and you're going to put your signature there, month and date and year, and you have to get it notarized. You got to get it notarized. So you see seal, you got to get this whole 21-page application notarized. So boom. So what I just went over as a recap is this was 24 pages because of everything. It's the 24-page application to get your federal record expunged. Now, starting in 2026, my paralegal firm is going to start helping people get their federal record expunged, and it's going to cost. But starting next week to January 2026, I'm going to find 5 people that meet the qualifications to get their federal record expunged, and I'm going to do it for free. So what we're going to do is I'm going to help you obtain all this information. I'm going to pretty much help you get all your records from the jails, the courts. I'm going to help you get letters of recommendation from jobs, employers. I'm going to help you fill out this application completely. After I'm done, I'm telling you this right now, it's going to be like 60, 70 pages. Because I'm going to help you get your medical records. I'm going to help you get your record expunged. I'm going to help you pull up your court records, your PSI, your judgments. I'm going to help you get all the qualifications to get your federal record expunged. I'm doing 5 people for absolutely free. So if you've been convicted of a federal crime anywhere in the United States of America, get in contact with my paralegal firm. You can contact me on my Instagram page, Mr.Armani1985. You can also contact me on TikTok under Paralegal Nation. You can also go to paralegalnation.biz and send me an email there, or email me directly, info@paralegalnation.biz. And this is a step-by-step guide, a lengthy 36-minute step-by-step guide on how to get your federal record expunged through a presidential pardon. You guys have a nice afternoon.